Rachel Zegler is the prime example of how you should never think that you're bigger than the project.
A lot of what you see with Zegler is really just the pretty common Gen Z mentality.
The only excuse I can make for her is that she's young, she's immature, she doesn't know any better.
You took on the role, and that job comes with certain basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and comport yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project, thereby harm all the hundreds of other people who are working.
She thinks the storm has passed. The footage, already leaked. The lawsuits, stacking up by the day. Her lawyers, scrambling nonstop, trying everything in their power to scrub every trace of this mess off.
To everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see
off the internet. But now Joe Rogan enters the scene. And just days after that now viral audio clip of Rachel Zegler's backstage Evita meltdown starts quietly circulating in private theater circles and fan forums, it blows up on a whole new level. The Joe Rogan experience. And the second Joe presses play, the whole vibe shifts. This isn't a quick aside.
And you don't really hate? No, I don't hate it.
This isn't a headline he casually scrolls past. It's a full-on, live reaction, uncensored, visceral, and instantly viral. The leaked audio is already a firestorm on its own. Allegedly captured during a heated rehearsal break, it appears to show Rachel Zegler totally unraveling backstage. She's raising her voice, ranting about castmates and directors, and dropping the kind of comments that ignite full-blown internet chaos. The sound quality, grainy. The clip, brief, but the tone, loud and unmistakable. Pure frustration, raw, tension, and maybe even a flash of fury. And now, Joe Rogan has his teeth in it. In a segment that's already being chopped, clipped, and blasted all over TikTok, Rogan plays the audio live on his podcast. His reaction? Instant. He leans in, hits pause, and then, classic Rogan, he unloads. He doesn't hold back, calling out the drama, the diva antics, and the ripple effect it's having across the entire industry. And just like that, the internet detonates. Split-screen edits flood social feeds. Reaction threads spiral. Meme pages go into overdrive. YouTube shorts titled, "Joe Rogan Destroys Zegler," start pulling in six-figure views overnight. Influencers latch on. The commentary frenzy explodes. And what was once just a behind-the-scenes theater scandal morphs into a full-scale cultural clash. Because when Rogan speaks, the internet listens, and this time, his take lands harder than any headline or lawsuit ever could. So now the conversation shifts gears. What exactly is in that 34-second clip that pushed Rogan over the edge? Why did this particular leak hit differently, louder, sharper, and more devastating than anything that came before? And how does such a short burst of audio manage to completely upend the Rachel Zegler narrative in real time? To understand the full impact, we have to rewind, back to the exact moment the clip first surfaced. Private group chats, Discord servers, theater Reddit threads. It starts as a whisper. Someone says they have it, others beg for a drop. And when it finally leaks, it spreads like wildfire. But the fuse doesn't truly ignite until it lands on Rogan's radar. Because this wasn't just another throwaway podcast moment. This was the match. The spark. The full-on viral explosion that sent the whole thing into orbit. She thinks the worst has passed. The footage? It's already out. The lawsuits? Already stacking up. Her legal team? Working overtime, trying to scrub every last trace of this scandal off the internet. But now, Joe Rogan enters the chat. Because just days after that now infamous backstage audio of Rachel Zegler's Evita outburst starts making the rounds in theater circles and fan forums, it suddenly detonates on a whole new level, the Joe Rogan experience. And once Joe hits play, everything changes. This isn't some throwaway line. He doesn't skim a headline. This is a full-on, unfiltered reaction. On air. Candid. Viral the moment it drops. The audio? Just 34 seconds. But it doesn't need to. Be longer. It drops you straight into chaos. Footsteps. Background voices. Maybe even the creak of a stage floor. Then, cutting through the noise, Rachel's voice, sharp and emotional. It's the most emotional experience that a person can go through to know that what they're working on is something that's reached a generation of people, she says. Now I'm a part of that legacy to some degree. It's not something I take lightly. It's just the most emotional experience to see. Her tone is tight. Not screaming, not sobbing, just clipped, frustrated. Then, I'm not doing this again. Insiders say that's directed squarely at the director. A pause. Then the line that dominates the internet. I'm there 24/7. I can't get out of it, and I don't know if that will make sense, but that's where I'm at. I'm so grateful for the things that I'm able to do. And a lot of what I'm able to do is because of you guys, and I'm so unbelievably thankful for that. It's not just what she says. It's how it sounds. Tense. Personal. Like a breaking point. And allegedly, it's all aimed at the production team, maybe even the director. She allegedly lashes out about not being respected, about being blamed, and one quote becomes the internet's new obsession. This isn't their show, it's mine. Arrogant, exhausted, out of context. Everyone's got an opinion. On TikTok, creators dissect it line by line. Twitter lights up. Some call her entitled. Others say it proves all the hard to work with rumors. Some argue it's just pressure boiling over. It's one of the biggest reasons people are starting to check out of the Rachel Zegler experience. I'm not saying she's a mean girl in real life, one user says, but that energy? That's mean girl energy. Some blame it on her. Being a theater kid, too intense, too dramatic, too much. But others? They're just done. One voice puts it bluntly. We've been mistreated by girls like that our whole lives. And now we're grown, and we're done. Another adds, this generation wants empathy, not ego. And whether she's a mean girl or not, people aren't tolerating that vibe anymore. What makes this leak hit harder than the rest is simple. It's just audio. No grainy video. No visual distractions. No context clues to soften the blow. Just Rachel's voice, caught in a moment that clearly wasn't meant for the world to hear. And that's why Joe Rogan's reaction slams like a sledgehammer, because he's going in cold. No visuals, no setup, just listening. And he calls it how he hears it, a total meltdown. The power here isn't in what you see, it's what you hear. And Rogan, he hears enough to unload. They're leaning into woke hardcore, he says. They're petrified of backlash. And now that people are hearing it themselves, the narrative shifts. It's no longer a backstage moment. It's a media explosion, control, exposure. What happens when the mic is still on and the script is gone? So what does Rogan actually say? That sends the internet spiraling? Let's break it down. People are mad at the big head girl, he says. And now, if you notice, they're putting it all on her. I mean, I'm sure she sucks, but she's very young. It kind of sucks that a kid gets put in a position like that. You're young, you've got opinions, but this should just be about the movie. Then he digs deeper. Let's defend Big Head Girl for a second. The message of the movie is supposed to be that, right? That's what they wrote. A script telling girls, I don't need nobody. I'm 20. I run my mouth. That's the theme. Now, but it's not the same story. The clip keeps playing in the studio. Rogan just sits there, eyebrows up. Then he lets out that classic chuckle, not a big laugh. Just that dry Rogan, are you kidding me laugh. Then he leans in. That's the clip. That's what they're trying to bury. And then he goes all in. His guest, a fellow comic, shakes his head, muttering, Bro, that's wild. Rogan calls the outburst entitled, Unhinged. Says this is what happens when no one's ever told you no. And trying to bury it just makes it worse. Now everyone wants to hear it. And just like that, the cracks start to show. Some say Rogan's being unfair, dragging someone for one bad moment, but he's in the story now, and like it or not, he's a loud part of it. This isn't Rogan's first ride in the celebrity scandal arena. He's commented on everyone. Will Smith, Meghan Markle, Ezra Miller. But this time, it feels different. Maybe because the original leak was so raw, so clearly never meant to be public, and Rogan blasting it to millions? That gives the scandal new oxygen. And the fans? They eat it up, because in a world where celebs dodge every controversy, Rogan dives in head first. No filter, no fluff. Just pure reaction. And that's exactly why this moment explodes. So now the question is, what happens when Rachel hears this? Because if her team was panicking before, they're in free fall now. The second Rogan's reaction hits the web, it's like a grenade going off inside the Evita drama. Within hours, TikTok's full of split-screen edits. On one side, Rachel's meltdown. On the other, Rogan's face, reacting. Some videos throw dramatic orchestral music under his "You're not Eva Peron" line. Others slap on anime subtitles and go viral in minutes. The hashtags, "Our Zegler meltdown is back," but now it's paired with Rogan roast. Over on Twitter, it's wildfire. Influencers who never touched this drama before are now weighing in, just because Rogan did. One viral tweet says, "Wasn't even following the Zegler stuff, but if Rogan's talking about it, it's officially huge." And they're right, because Rogan's platform, it's not niche, it's not theater. It's not even just entertainment. It's global, it's chaotic, it's viral rocket fuel. Reddit threads blow up, fan forums implode. Some say Rogan nailed it, others say he kicked someone already down. But one thing's clear. He lit a match, even. Her defenders start hesitating, re-watching, reassessing. Some say, look, high-pressure roll. Everyone cracks. Others say, yeah, but not like that. YouTube commentary channels pounce. One video titled, "Joe Rogan just ended Rachel Zegler's career in 30 seconds, racks up views by the hour." Another, "The final nail in the coffin." Even meme accounts jump in. One shows Rachel photoshopped into Rogan's studio, Evita costume and all. Caption, "Evita, the musical, presented by the Joe Rogan Experience." But the internet already decided. So where does Rachel go from here? Can she come back? Maybe, but not by staying silent, not by hiding. She needs a pivot, a big one. Own it, address it, change the narrative. Because right now, the silence is writing the ending. And what does this whole saga teach us? About celebrity, about fame? That in 2024, everything is recorded, nothing is forgotten, and narrative beats truth every single time. So what's next? We don't know. But we do know this. The internet is watching. Rogan's talking. And this story, far from over. Because in scandals like this, there's always another leak, always another twist. And the loudest moment still might be coming.